Hey guys, and welcome to my first tutorial. Now I'm going to divide this video into chapters just so you guys can go to the parts that confuse you. So for this tutorial, I'm going to teach you guys how I use Lightroom. So there's going to be chapters and you guys can skip to the part that you guys want to know about or keep rehearsing to see. So we're using Lightroom CC, and I'm going to make other videos where I'm teaching you all how I use that other Lightroom program. So for this one, it's going to be CC. Next video will be classic, and then we'll finish it up with mobile, which is not my favorite, but this is my second favorite one. So let's get to it. All right, so right here we have my friend Jose. Shout out to Jose. Instagram will be down below. Give him a follow. And as you can see, this is how the image came out. Basic. Took it on my Sony a6400. And we're gonna start out with the light portion of this, right? The light portion of this video. So exposure will basically take care of the brightness. Try to balance it out. And contrast will give it that Instagrammy feel where, it makes it look more contrasty. And then we have our highlights, which will take away some of the brightness to the picture. Play around with it as you wish. Shadows, which is my favorite of the settings, helps you basically take away shadows or add some more. Whites, take away some of the whites. To the left, and to the right you add more whites. And blacks, put some more on the left and take away some on the right. And point curve, I don't like to play around with this, not till you're more advanced, which I will make another video on that, because it's a lot more to talk about. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So for this one, I'm just gonna add a little bit more contrast and take away some of the shadows so we can see more of Jose's face. Exposure, we can bring it down just a bit, and with that we can bring some of the highlights down so we can have more of the sky. We'll bring up the exposure a bit more. And then whites, we'll take away some of the whites because we want to see that sky a little bit more. And then the blacks, we'll keep them like that where they are. So yeah, this covers the portion of light. So now let's get to the color section. All right, now we're going to talk about color, which will cover a whole lot more. This is one of the most interesting parts of Lightroom, which just covers color and not the lighting stuff. So with temperature, you can control how your blues or yellows and oranges come out. So if you go to the left, you make the picture look more cold with more blues. To the right, you'll get more yellows and more oranges. So adjust it accordingly, because right here, it looks a bit cold. It looks like a spring feeling. But if we get it to the right, it looks more summery, which is what I want. And then this is tint, which makes it more green or more purple. Now, for me, I kind of want to add a little bit of green to add some teal feeling to it, and vibrance just adds like more colors, but not in a saturated feeling. As you can see, this looks more like a Vice City type of cover if you've ever played GTA, but we're not gonna add too much. In fact, let's take away some of the vibrance, and then that way our saturation won't show up as much. And as you can see, this is lovely. We can add more vibrance, why not? Now this looks like a summer Vogue cover. I love this. Color mixer, this is a really cool feature that you guys should play around with. And as you can see, this is why. Because with these colors right here, you can target which ones you want to change. So for example, the reds, I can change them in the picture, which right now it's just his lips, so I can't do much with it. The oranges though, which is his skin, we can play around with much more. Now, I want to make it more bright so it can stand out more. And yeah, that's just perfect. it's perfect. Yeah, it's good. And the blues right here are the teal colors. There's not many in the picture. The blues though, now this is a whole lot more. It's not, you know, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does work. It's all about playing around with the program. Well, it just hits the ones in the top, which is weird. Maybe the greens will. Yeah, there we go. See, the greens target most of the blues for some odd reason. You can also use this little tool right here called target adjustment, and it'll basically tell you which color you have to use to play around with it. It'll send you to the color to adjust it. And for this one, let's just add more of this. Let's add more of this. Let's add more saturation to the lake and more brightness. And yeah, that's all we'll do for color. Color grading, that's a little bit more advanced ground that we'll cover in another video. So yeah, stay away from color grading for now until you get more of a feel for the program. Don't overwhelm yourself too much with it. Okay, now let's get to the effects portion, and that will be the last one, and I'll tell you why. Cool. Alright, so now we're on the effects part, and it's going to be this little part. We only have 5 settings to work with here. Is it 5? Yeah, sorry, I don't know how to count sometimes. We have texture, detail, dehaze, vignette, and grain. And only 3 of those are very standing to the eye. And those are texture, clarity, and vignette. And I'll tell you why. So texture adds more texture to the picture, as you can see. My screen froze. Great. That's great. So give me a minute here. We're working with some pretty old tech. Or wait, no, it's not my thing. It's just this. So I'm gonna deselect some options sometimes. You know. So this is with and without the texture. With, without. It's a small difference, but if you add a lot, then you will see the effects it has. So don't go too crazy with it. Clarity, it adds a pretty good effect. You see, it does that, and without it, it does that. Don't go too crazy with the clarity either, as it can make the pictures look a little bit action figure-ish. So I would only recommend it if you were to use car pictures and stuff. Not with people in it, but yet again, don't go too crazy with it, even with a car picture. Dehaze only makes the picture brighter or darker, as you can see. So not a really good thing to play around with. As you know, you could just go to your light and work with that stuff. It makes it look more like those memes, you know, oven memes, baked memes, you know. Yeah. Vignette adds a dark circle around the picture or a white circle, depending on which side you go to. As you can see on this one, it gives it that spotlight feeling, which I like to put in some of my pictures. And grain just adds more grain to the picture. If you zoom in, you'll see way more grain. You see those like bunch of pixels? That's grain. So I don't like to add that much into it or touch it at all. And for the rest of the settings, I'll just cover them right here. Detail just adds like sharpening, which I usually recommend adding just a little bit of it, and then you'll be good. And then these optics ones, these are a little bit, if you use like a camera, like an actual camera, these will correct the lens for you. As you can see, depending if you use like a specific lens. But if you don't have a lens and you just shoot on your iPhone, then you could skip this part and then you don't have to worry about it. Geometry, this is one that I don't even understand because it does weird things to the picture. You know, in a way it could work, but you would have to be extremely calculative with it. So yeah, I don't touch geometry, just the main three, which are light, color, effects. and detail. Yeah, I know I said main 3, but it's actually 4. Sorry for confusing you right there. You good? Okay, anyhow, if you all like this video, give it a like, share it with someone who could use the help, and subscribe. Check out my Instagram down below, and Jose's Instagram too, since, you know, he participated in this picture, and these pictures came out super lovely. For right now, I'll show you guys the before and the after from what we started with and what we ended up with. So if you guys use the left slash, you guys can check your progress. It should be under your backspace button. So this is what we started with, and this is what we ended up with. Yeah, pretty good edit. So play around with your stuff and tag me down below. Use the hashtag #DaringShots, and then, you know, I would like to see your work. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.